Hello, I'm John Robinson and I'm Managing Director of Inoni Limited. We produce business continuity and resilience software. I'm going to use this short demonstration to show you some of its highlights and explain what's special about it. So please sit back and listen. It should take around 10 minutes. First thing I would say is that Inoni is above all adaptable. This is ultimately the most important attribute in modern continuity. It's become realized that organizations aren't all the same, and a one-size-fits-all solution makes no one happy. Inoni is built on a platform, which is to say we're able to build solutions specifically for our clients. And our clients equally are able to learn how to build those solutions and adapt them themselves. This makes Inoni a very special tool, and it means you can actually build something that fits your organization. We think it's the ultimate advantage. It has many other features, and I'm going to show some of them to you right now. I'm going to log into the system as a location business continuity manager. Now, a location business continuity manager in this context is potentially one of a number of locations, represents one of a number of locations potentially worldwide. It may have a global continuity head that oversees them, and it may have subordinate departments or sites that work for them. So you're going to see one take of this. It's going to be very quick, but I know you're busy and you've got a good summit to attend to. So here goes. Briefly, this is the home page. When a manager level person logs in, this is the kind of thing they see. There's a menu bar with some icons. There's a navigator with a number of tools, and there's a favorites board, which is a bit like a shortcuts area. So you can drag things from the navigator or from the menu onto the board. The menu's got a number of important things on it. I'll tell you what they are briefly. A navigator, home page, a welcome message. Now the welcome message is configurable by you. Everything is configurable by you. You really can build your own system, use your own words and so on. There's a My Account page with all the usual things, a password and so on, a dashboard. This one I'll stop on for a moment. It's a review panel. When one of your departmental champions completes a plan or a BIA or whatever, they can submit it for review by you, and you can go and look at it. You can drill into it in detail, and you can drill into it in even more detail and see how they answered before commenting and giving them an accept, a defer, or reject, flagging it, or whatever. It's a powerful review tool that generates reports and keeps you in touch with what's going on. Next thing on the menu bar is a documents page. Documents reflect one of two sides to Inoni. Inoni delivers online reports and documents for use in an emergency. So these can be accessed quickly via a mobile phone or laptop or other device. They can also be downloaded as PDFs onto those devices in case there's no signal available. This is the flip side of that. This is the building of more weighty documents, auditable documents and training documents that wouldn't typically be used in an incident but are used to help you to conform, to make sure that you've got everything that you need and all of the surrounding material is in place. So for example, you see here there's a BCMS framework document. You don't need that in a crisis. You need it to manage the business continuity environment. Other things in here, you can see an emergency book. This would be used in a crisis. It's used to produce roll cards or emergency cards. Well, you can't always get to everything you need, and these tend to be very useful. People do like a practical physical equivalent to the online deliverable. So this ability to produce things that are practical, covering all eventualities, is important. You can see in the middle here the location BCP. I'm going to show you what that looks like. I click Word. It downloads it to Word. So I'm just going to open Word. And you can see that's quite quick. As you look at this document, you can see it's not a typical database built document. It looks like a professionally produced item. And you can see the contents. You take a moment just to read down. There's an emergency plan, a business recovery plan, business unit recovery plans, appendices. You can see it's got text and pictures and flowcharts, many different components in here that you would expect to see in a professional document. In fact, this is a very complete document. As I say, it's produced automatically by the system. If I close out of that, if I show you briefly when an update takes place, if I click rebuild, you can see that I have to give reasons when I rebuild. I can control the versions of the rebuild, and I actually have a way of recording the history of that entire document, and you can see history is just here. I can also push these documents to people, so when they're updated I can use the push command, and anyone that shares that document who's permitted to have it under the push system will receive an update via email. If I move away from this, the next one is a manage users page. This allows an individual, this manager, to oversee users of individual tools. So this person has the ability to oversee the department BCP and department BIA for this group, the department users for head office. What you can see is the list of users. He can edit those user profiles, not at every aspect, but most aspects. You can view status, and these indicators I'll explain if you have a demo. But importantly, he's got a list of commands that he can use, and here's one. I'll use this one. This is login as. This allows me to log in as an individual user and see things as they do. Help them maybe, help them answer questions. So if I click on the BCP interview, you can see these are the different headings under the business continuity plan. So if I go to, let's go to recovery team members, you can see I've got a couple of people in there, and I can page through. Some very important things to note. This little readme command here. So you have a question, pages with questions. These readme commands are very powerful. For each question I can link it to quite extensive text, and you can edit that text. You can access it and audit it and edit it. What you can do with this is use it firstly to guide people and make sure they do know how to answer the question, but bear in mind there may be many of them, so you're generating a consistent interpretation. You can also embed your methodology in here, so when people go to these readmes, you're gradually passing and reinforcing the way they should be thinking and doing this. So it becomes part of their training. It's a reference, and it's training, and it's also it's help as you go through it. Very, very context-related help. The individual line items are edited like this, and you can specify all of these. I mean, they've all got hover text, but you can write the hover text. You can say what you want to put in here. You could, instead of a day, a week, a month, you could have an hour, a day, 2 days, 5 days. Just change what you need to. You could change the number of decimal places. Many, many, many things that you can do. Almost everything is configurable. You can change the entire question set and the way it builds. Let's return to the head office one. Finally, we have a task manager up here. List of tasks outstanding for this individual, things they need to do, the state of the actual tool, and the percentage complete. There would also be dates there if there was a workflow associated. We've turned them off because it's a demo. Help is what you'd expect. It's context help for the system. The FAQ library is all of the FAQs that you saw, the readmes, and again, you can just click on them and read them if you want to, and just go and look things up and search for them. Print and log out. The tools you see down here, these are tools allocated to that manager. So a comlog is a way of monitoring incidents and training exercises. Read-only access to the BIAs and BCPs. So if I go into here, I can look at all of my departmental BCPs via this route as well. While we're in here, I'll just briefly show you, this is what an online report looks like. In this case, very tabular. very data rich, very intense really. It's not intended to be a long document. It's meant to be as short as we can make it and convey as much information as we can make it. You can see a table of contents. You can navigate via that. This thing here says draft. I can take a snapshot like this, and it's given me a snapshot version here. I can output it to PDF. I can do all this on my mobile phone as well, and I can output to Word if necessary. I prefer not to do that. Links allow me to refer straight back into the actual interview to update it. If we go back to the home page, I'll finish now by showing you the Head Office BCP Online. You can see this is quite different from most continuity plans. What you're doing is coming straight into a document that's been collapsed. So all of the headings in a full document have been reduced down, so I can open them by clicking on them. And I can do that for all of them separately, like this. Or I can click and just open the whole lot. Although frankly, I wouldn't generally do that. I just pick the pieces I want, make sure they're visible in front of me, and not really expand the whole thing in one go. But for the record, you can see what's in here, the type of material that's in here. You're getting all kinds of very concise information is the objective. Checklists, tick lists, data, things you need to know. And I can collapse it down again. So again, a table of contents, again the ability to take snapshots, the same principles as the one you saw. The kind of things that you can do in here, the way to view this is that it's a collapsed version of everything that would be useful. So we looked at the BCP for head office earlier. If I click it there, that link, I can from this one location, just this single download, access all of the department BCPs directly, as well as having all of their information from the BIAs in here as well. So very, very powerful in the sense that it's the central pillar and everything else hangs off that pillar. Vitally, you can configure this yourself. You can see here we've got it split into two pieces, the office plan, the emergency plan, sorry, and a business continuity plan. Where you draw that line is up to you. What you put in each section, you don't even have to have those sections. You can define your own section names, the way they expand and collapse, everything. This is the ultimate adaptive BCP. You can make it your own, and it can be different between sites, different for large sites to small sites, highly purposeful, adaptive for IT. It's very pliable. So on that note of adaptability, I'm going to finish. I think it's enough. So let's close it out and return to the presentation. And I'm going to leave it and just say thank you very much for taking the time to listen to this. Please talk to the guys from Core. If you want a demo, they will arrange it. Thank you so much for your time and enjoy the summit. Goodbye.